Hello everybody, and welcome to my Darkheart Thicket video. Gonna go over the bosses, what they do. Let's get started. First up, we got Archdruid Gladius. One of his spells is Nightfall. Pulls a fragment of Nightmare Corrupted Star from the sky, creating an area of Nightmare Corrupted that infects shadow damage to anyone in the area. I got warned with this during the playthroughs I did with it. I never actually saw it happen. Next is Primal Rampage. The boss will bash all enemies in a cone in front of him, affecting physical damage and knocking them back. Then the boss will charge forward, affecting physical damage and knocking them back even more. This I did see. It usually happens in a tank if you're DPS and healers are smart, stand behind. And usually it happens in a tank. Next, Grievous Leap. The boss will leap at an enemy affecting physical damage, causing Grievous Tear, and then the boss will jump back and do more damage, again with Grievous Tear. Grievous Tear infects physical damage every 3 seconds, unless it's healed past 90% of the maximum health. Overall, I like this encounter. It is a fun encounter. Just a DBM warning on my screen. Nightfall, move away. And I didn't see any actual visual representation of it. The rest of it looked really cool.
Silence, weakling.
I want to see this fight on heroic.
It will be to cry for mercy.
Next up is Darkheart. One of his abilities is Crushing Grip. The boss picks up and crushes his target, inflicting nature damage every 1 second for 5 seconds. Then the boss will throw his target to the ground, inflicting more nature damage and damage to anyone in the area that it happens to. I didn't get picked up, but the tank got picked up. I didn't move out of the way fast enough, and I got smacked with it. Next up is Strangling Roots. Roots will come out of the ground, inflicting physical damage for every 1 second, and the roots will keep them in the same place for 1 minute or until destroyed. Next is Shattering Earth. Shatters the ground around the caster, inflicting nature damage and knocking the enemy back. Pretty cool effect though. And Nightmare Breath. Affects fire damage in a cone in front of the caster, and then burns the target, affecting fire damage every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Overall, I like this encounter. I think that the root part could be a little more dangerous, because you see him casting it, you see the little bars come up, and you just move out of the way. Other than that, fun encounter. Different.
Beware. We get to the root of the problem. My limbs will grow back. Yours will not. I told you to leave me alone. A pity you have come this far only to die at the hands of Xavius.
An empty threat. You hold no sway over this realm, Nightmare Lord.
Bold words for a prisoner. Even an echo of my power was enough to overwhelm you.
Next up, I'm going to probably butcher your name. Shoot me. Is Dressarion. This is a dragon boss. The first ability we have up is Breath of Corruption. Breathe a cone of acid, inflicting nature damage every 1 second for 2 seconds, and reducing the armor of anyone it hits by 5% for 6 seconds. Ooh, that's going to be rough. Especially early on, maybe even early heroics. Oh god, mythics. Ooh. Next is Downdraft. The boss aggressively flaps his wings, pushing enemies away, inflicting nature damage every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. Then we have Earth-Shaking Roar. Shakes the ground around the boss, affecting nature damage to all nearby enemies, causing a cave-in, and affecting nature damage for every 1 second you stand in the cave-in. If you stand this, you're missing it. You can't miss it though. It's a big, big, rocky, damaging thingy happening on the ground. And because of downdraft, if you get pushed back into the eggs around the corner of the room, which I don't think anybody got pushed into on this encounter, you have hatching whelplings. It causes little dragons to spawn and more damaging out to the party. You have to kill them. So whenever downdraft's happening, just keep pushing forward and hopefully you don't pull anything. And next up, our last boss for this dungeon, Shade of Xavius. What do you do? Well, Festering Rip. Rends a target, leaving an affected wound, affecting nature damage every 2 seconds, and decreases healing taken by 15% for 8 seconds. Man, that's nasty. Next is Feed on the Weak. Consumes the enemy's soul, infecting shadow damage every 1 second for 5 seconds. Not as bad as your first ability, bud. Next is Nightmare Bolt. Launches a bolt of nightmare energy, affecting shadow damage. Next, Induce Paranoia. The boss heightens the fear and paranoia in his enemies. Enemies affected take shadow damage and are horrified for 5 seconds if they stand too close to allies. So spread apart. And then we got Apocalyptic Nightmare. The boss will erupt with Nightmare Fire, affecting fire damage to nearby enemies in an engulfing inferno, and will rain fire from above, affecting fire damage to anyone that it hits. The big red circles on the ground. Get out. Overall, I really enjoyed this dungeon. I thought so far of the couple I've played, it's my favorite. Just from the counter perspective. However, it's a lot of red. I mean, it's a lot of red. And if red's your thing, go for it.
Well-earned victory.
If anything, I would like to see
I
think the first encounter, the Nightfall ability, actually have an image or an effect on screen. Not just happen and yell at you you're standing in something whenever you can't see it. And the settings, everything is turned up. I don't think I have anything turned off that won't be able to let me see anything. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching.